Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for attending our webinar today on Fast Talker, which is our text-based AAC resource for literate users. My name's Trevor. I work on the content team at Smartbox, which means I'm privileged to be able to work on designing some of the grid sets within the grid software. My colleague Dave from the support team is joining us this afternoon, and he'll be able to field any questions that you type into the chat window as we go along. So feel free to ask a question as soon as it occurs to you, and at the end of the webinar I'll also have a look through the questions to try and make sure we've covered everything there. So Fast Talker within Grid 3 it's really an all-in-one resource which combines fast and efficient communication with accessible apps like email and SMS and camera and web browser, social media and so on, with computer control and environment control as well. So it's designed for fully literate users using any access method to give them the tools to be able to speak out loud quickly and efficiently, but also to retain independence and be able to do all the other tasks on a computer that we all do day to day. So it's available in two versions. So let me just switch to Grid 3 itself. We have the standard Fast Talker, and we have Fast Talker Large Cell also. So I'm just going to start off, I'll just do a quick comparison between the two versions so that you can see what the differences are. So this is the standard version, which works on a 10 by 6 grid. And you have the full QWERTY keyboard here, so you're able to type a whole message from this single grid. So this is really good for someone who's got the accuracy to be able to use cells of this size. This is the most efficient layout, I guess. But for someone who's perhaps using eye gaze and needs slightly bigger targets, you may want to opt for the large cell version, which, as you can see, the cells are much larger, roughly twice the size, and so we've split the keyboard across two different grids, but on this first grid are the most frequently used letters, and then if you need one of the other half of the alphabet, you would click on this here to select from there. So I'll just show you a quick sentence, which is the question, did you go there? So I'm not going to use the prediction cells for now. I'm going to do that in a moment when we demo some of the features. So now I need the letter Y, which isn't on this grid. So I'll select the second keyboard. And when I make a selection from the second keyboard, it will automatically close back to the first one, unless I pin it open with this cell here. So that I'll select that, and we're back onto the most frequent letters.
U.
Okay, so that's how the frequency keyboard works in the large cell version. So that hopefully gives you a flavour of some of the differences between the two. But as we're going on this tour of Fast Talker this afternoon, I will show you some of the features within this grid set and some within standard Fast Talker. The whole feature set actually is the same in both versions. You can do everything in both versions. So the only difference really is the size of the cells. And so in this version, you sometimes need slightly more clicks to get to the thing that you need, whereas it will take slightly less with the standard version. So I'm going to switch back to standard fast talker for the first part. So the home grid is designed to be somewhat similar to what you'd find on a standard tablet or a phone, with a home screen for launching apps. And so it's made up of two screens in both versions, and you can see there what cells are available, which gives you an overview of the functions that are available within Fast Talker. I'm going to give you a tour of some of those this afternoon. There won't be time to go into everything, but hopefully we'll give you a good flavour of what's available in there, and then you'll be able to explore the rest for yourselves. So we'll start off with a look at the communication side of the grid set. So I'm going to go into chat, which you've already seen briefly, but now we're going to turn our attention to some of the tools that we've put within Fast Talker to speed up communication. And the first one is word prediction, and if you've got a smartphone, you're going to be familiar with this. We use SwiftKey prediction, which is an industry standard, and it will predict a completion of the word that you're typing currently, and then when you finish the word, it will also predict the most likely next word as well. And the other thing that it will do is handle slight mishits. So if you just hit the wrong letter, then the word prediction can usually handle that and still have a good guess at what you were trying to type, which is really good for someone who's maybe got quite difficult, complex access needs. But they won't need to be going back and using the backspace key all that often, because the word prediction will take all that into account. So I'm going to type the sentence, "How was the weather yesterday?" But this time I'm not going to type all the letters. I'm going to use the word prediction as soon as it offers me the word that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for "How was the weather yesterday?" So with one selection, I've already got the word "how."
How?
And again, one selection, I've got
Was.
the next word.
That.
Weather will take a few more selections. Here we go.
Weather. Yesterday.
Okay, so you can see that I've typed a full sentence there with very few selections. I'm going to clear that. That's this cell down here in the corner. And this time I'm going to type the sentence, "Will you help me?" But I'm going to do a deliberate mishit on the word "help." So
Will. You.
Okay. And then I've misspelled "help." As you can see, I've typed HRL, but you can see the word is still predicted up here.
Help. Me.
Okay. So that's how single word prediction works. So for prediction one word at a time, it will do word completion and next word prediction. But we have another tool built into Fast Talker to really speed up communication, and it's called Chat History. And this is more to do with generating whole phrases rather than just single words. So to switch modes between word prediction and chat history, it's this cell here next to the spacebar. So I'm going to click on history, and immediately I get some sentences here. And the thing to do with chat history, it has 5,000 phrases already in it, and with your permission, when you set up a user, it will ask you for your permission to remember the things that you've said before. And if you do that, when you speak a sentence, it's added to your chat history, so you can bring that phrase back again really quickly. So the key here is not really to start at the beginning of the sentence, but just think of the key word in the sentence that you want to say. So if I wanted to maybe order a coffee when I'm out and about, I would just start typing the word coffee. And you can see here that immediately we get suggestions containing that word. It could equally be about what type of eggs you'd like to order for breakfast, and there immediately those are populated. If what you were looking for didn't come up in these first few suggestions, you can click the arrow here and get more as well. Also here it's possible to manage phrases, so you can remove a phrase that's in there, for example if it's something you would never say, or if it's something that's been added to your chat history and you want to get rid of it later on, then you could say you wanted to remove that, and maybe you would never order poached eggs, so you might remove that. Like so. The way that chat history suggests phrases is based on three things, as well as the letters that you're typing in. It will offer the phrases by how recently you've said something, how frequently you've said it, and also by your current location as well. So you might get, if you're talking about a pint, you might get different suggestions when you're at home, because you might be talking about a pint of milk to go on the shopping list, than if you're in the pub when you might be ordering a pint of beer, for example. Now, there might be times, of course, when you don't want your phrases added to your chat history. And so we have a tool which enables you to go into private mode. So you click on Tools, then Private Mode. You can see that's changed colour. And now I can speak sentences without them being added to chat history. So there are bound to be times when that would come in useful. Okay. So Fast Talker, like any other grid set within Grid, can be edited and personalised. And so I just thought I'd show you a quick example of that at this point. Let's say that somebody wanted slightly larger font on the letters if they were struggling to see those, for example. So I'm going to click on Menu and then Edit Grid. And then let's say we wanted to make the chat history cells with slightly larger font. So I'll select one of those cells, then I'll go to Style, and then in size, maybe increase that to 24, like so. And there you can see that the font has been increased. Equally, I could change the colours to make them more high contrast, or make it any other changes that I wanted to do. Okay, we go back to the home screen now. So we've looked so far at generating sort of novel phrases with a full keyboard, but there are times when it might be quicker just to jump straight to a pre-stored phrase within a category, just to be able to quickly get to exactly what you wanted to do. So within here there are certain categories with messages already stored. So we could go to icebreakers, for example, and then make a selection here.
What have you been up to?
Like so. And these pre-stored phrases can be managed by the user using the add phrase and remove phrase cells. So I'm going to add the phrase, is it raining, to information requests. So first what I'll need to do is type that phrase using the keyboard.
Is it raining? Is it raining?
Then I'll go home, hit to messages, information requests, add phrase, and select a blank space, and that can be added. So all these pre-stored phrases can be quickly edited. Okay, so that's a little bit about using the chat and messages grids. The message banking grid, this is so that messages can be recorded and then they'll be played back using the recording rather than using the synthesized voice. So typically someone who has maybe got a degenerative condition and knows that they may lose the use of their voice in the future may want to bank phrases which are particularly express their personality or have sentimental value or something like that. So let's give you a quick demonstration of how that would work. So at the moment on this grid we don't have any messages stored, so I'm going to record a new message, and so I've clicked on record new. I could type any message I wanted here, but I may as well record the phrase, is it raining, as we've already got that. Right, so type that, select next, then I'm going to just click the record cell, say the phrase, and then click this same cell again. Is it raining? Is it raining? Okay, so then it's played back to me. Is it raining? And if I'm happy with that, I can save and finish. And that phrase is now added to my banked messages. And I don't have to select it from here. I could also equally type that into the keyboard or select it from chat history. And the recording will be used rather than the synthesized voice. We do have a separate webinar on our website that is dedicated just to message banking, where you can find out much more about it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is switch to the large cell version of FastTalker for the next bit of the demo. And I have been switching previously by going to Menu and then Grid Explorer, which requires the use of the mouse or the touchscreen, but you can actually do it from within the grid itself. So if I go to Settings, and then I can choose Grid Explorer from here. So it's possible for the user themselves to switch between grid sets without an issue. So I'll now select large cell, and we're going to have a quick look at social media. So within FastTalker we have grid sets for YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. And I'm going to demo the Twitter one this afternoon. So I'll select that. I'm already signed into my Twitter account, so we'll just pop up here. And we have basically, it's the Twitter web page in the centre with these accessible cells around the outside, which enable me to do the main function. So we've got a tweet here about Communication Matters Conference. So we've got that selected. You can see it's highlighted with the blue outline, and we can select like, and you can see there that we've been able to do that. We could do a new tweet.
Hello. From. Grid.
And I want the number 3, so I'm going to go to Tools and Punctuation. So you can see there are slightly more selections to get to the grid that you want within large cell, but the cells are much easier to access. So when I finish my message, I can select tweet, and then I get the chance just to confirm that I'm happy to send that or cancel it. So I'll confirm, and there we've sent our tweet. The Facebook grid is very, very similar, the same sort of functionality. Okay, so now I'm going to return to the home grid, to the menu here, and we're going to have a look at text messaging. So we've got the SMS grid here and the phone grid. And you can see these are what we call live cells, and it's telling me with the number 1 there that I have one unread text message. So that will update live, and notifications would appear at the bottom of the grid as messages come in. So let's select that. So we've got various conversations going on here, which I can navigate up and down. I'm going to open the top one. Okay, and I might choose to reply to that message.
Hi. There.
Okay, I've got the message composed. And again, get a chance to confirm or cancel. And that text has been sent. And I can verify that that message did just arrive. I'll just reply from my phone. Okay, send to reply, and we should see that pop up. There we go. Okay, so fully functioning text messaging. It's very easy now to get text messaging working. You have to have an Android phone paired via Bluetooth. There's an app that you install on the phone, and there's some software called Call Center that you install within Windows. We've got a separate video all about how to set that up. But once it is set up, then you only do that once, and then the functionality is all there, and the grids are built within FastTalker. Email is very similar functionality. Very easy setup for the main email providers like Gmail, Yahoo, Microsoft, and so on. And so the grid, as you can see, would enable you to navigate around the email, reply, send new emails, send a picture attachment, and so on. Also within FastTalker we have environment controls, and it's the cell that's labelled service environment control, and we have pre-made grids in here for controlling lights and TVs and all that kind of thing. So once your accessories are set up within grid, we have again a separate webinar which is available on the website to watch now, to tell you how to set that stuff up. Once that's done, these grids within FastTalker will work with those accessories that you've set up. So you won't have to create those grids yourself. And we also have accessible web browsing within FastTalker. So I just want to give you a quick demo of that. So select web browser. There are some favourite websites that are preset, or you can type in a web address. But I'm going to go to the favourites to start with. You can add to these as well, and remove them. It's all editable. I'm going to go to the BBC. And so here we are on the BBC website. And let's say now that I want to select news to get to the BBC News, I can select links, and in the cells now are all the links on this web page. And as I hover over the different cells, you can see them being highlighted on the web page. So I'll select news, I'll open up that page. Okay, and now we can scroll. And we may want to zoom in. So I can navigate the web with the grid set. Within standard fast talker, all the same functionality is there as well. So I'm going to switch back to the standard version of fast talker now. So I'm going to go to settings, Grid Explorer, and show you just a couple more things before we conclude our tour. So we have grids for lots of common things that you will want to do, like Twitter, Facebook, and email and that kind of thing. But there are sometimes when you might want to control another piece of software that either there isn't a grid set for, or it isn't accessible enough to allow you to control it via a standard grid. And in that case, it's possible to use Grid 3 to control any other piece of Windows software. So I want to give you a quick demo of that. So I'll select computer. You can do this in the lifestyle version as well. And you'll see that grid has now shrunk down to this much smaller size of grid, so that we can now see the Windows desktop. So first of all, I need to select what sort of function I want to do. And I want to open one of these photos here. So I'm going to select double click. And then I'll move the cursor, and then I'll stop moving. And then as it zooms in, I'm going to steer. And it's going to double click on where the mouse pointer is hovering. So that's the default setup, is that it will zoom in and then click. You can change it in settings to dwell to click if you prefer that. So now I'll select left click if I want to close this window. Select left, again move the mouse pointer, hover it over what I want to click on, steer as it zooms in, and we've clicked on the cross there. Double click. So as it zooms in, you can see that you can get a very good level of accuracy using computer control. We can also bring up a keyboard to type. And you can also click and drag and so on. So the full functionality is there. There's a lot more that we could say and do about with computer control, but again, we have a separate webinar on the website that is just about computer control, so I'll let you have a look at that separately. So now I'll switch back into the home grid. And here we are. And a couple more things that we haven't seen yet. One is Notes, which is a simple word processor, which allows you to type and edit documents.
This is a document.
So I'll save that. Now that's in the list, and we can have a whole load of documents.
Hi, there.
So now I can navigate between them. I could go back in and edit that one.
This is a document.
and I could send that as an email. So this is just useful for keeping, for typing stuff that you want to keep and come back to. And it's also possible to play music and video from within FastTalker. So the music will bring in its content from whatever you have in your Windows Media Player library. So you have full control with that. If you prefer streaming music, then watch this space because we have a grid set for a streaming music service coming out shortly. And you can play videos also. That will just point to the videos folder within Windows, and you can navigate that and play back your videos there. It's possible to view and take pictures, so let's do that. Let's take one. There we go. And you can view photos here. You can see we've done this sort of thing quite a lot before. So you can take and view and email photos. So that is just a very quick overview, I guess, of what is available within FastTalker. I hope it's given you a good overview of what's in there, the difference between the two versions, and how to do some quick edits and personalization. So I'm going to just have a quick look through the questions now. And just to see what's been asked and see if I can add anything. Okay, so I can see a question here about a chat cell for when you're on the phone, and is it possible to add a cell that says something like, please bear with me, I'm using a communication aid. And the answer to is that yes, you could certainly do that. So let's get to the chat grid. So I'm just doing this really quickly. You'd probably find a better place to put it than this. You could jump to a separate grid with pre-stored phrases in it. But we could create a cell here. And it would be as simple as that to create a quick cell that could speak a pre-stored phrase. You could also add to the another way to do it would be to add some phrases within messages here as well. Where the grids are pre-made for you, you wouldn't even have to go into edit mode then. You could just type it here and then add phrase and add it into the appropriate category. Just moving through the questions again. Okay, yeah, some technical questions about setting up email. I think Dave has answered that really well. We have articles on our website about some of the steps you might need to do with some email providers to get that working. and about how to set up the whole mobile phone thing and which apps you use and all of that kind of thing. Our website address is thinksmartbox.com, and if you navigate to that page and then go to our support and resources section, you'll find we have a knowledge base. We've got all our previous webinars are on there as well, and there's a little live chat thing as well where you can chat with our support team. So do feel free to keep asking questions after the webinar ends today. So thank you very much for attending the webinar today. I hope it's been helpful, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much.